Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another DC comic review, and in this DC comic review I'll be covering Superman Action Comics, the annual of 2022, and the Batman annual 2022. So I'll get things ready to prepare for the first one that will be reviewed. So the first one that I'll be starting off with will be the Action Comics. And with the first thing, that is the cover. Does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside in relation to the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it an 8 out of 10. I'll now go to showing some of the internal art in relation to some of the things that are happening with the story. And as we begin here, on the left-hand side, around the beginning of the story, we have a story around a young Clark Kent, around his mother, or should we say adoptive mother, but either way. And last but not least, we have an origin story of the son of Mongul. That's happening here. It's not Mongul's story, but the son of Mongul's story. As we start to jump towards the middle of the story, of course we've got a somewhat parallel between their lives once again, as he sees that his mum is in hospital for chemo, and we get to see what's happening with Mongul's mother here. And last but not least, some of the art towards the end. For the internal art, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'll now move into the area of the story and the things that I like to bring up and see in the stories. First things first, did we get any references to any of the previous comics that Philip Kennedy Johnson is working on? No, we didn't, though it probably wouldn't have hurt to include one comic reference in there just to help direct the audience. Moving into the area of time, we got long ago, and we know with that was actually set in the location of Warworld, which is the next area I'm covering. So we had Earth and Warworld, a slight comparison. The cast of characters consisting of Superman, Caleb, of course the son of Mongul, and his mother. For this story, I found it quite interesting, and of course I did quite enjoy it a bit. I understand why some people didn't like it that much, but for myself I did personally enjoy it. So overall, I am giving this story an 8.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move on to the Batman annual. So, as we move into the next part of this, with the Batman annual, as you can see here, this story is dealing between Batman and Ghostmaker, and as well as Batman Incorporated. First things first, let's get to the rating of the covers and how they in fact relate to the story. So, first things first. Do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside of the story? Sure enough, they both do, but which one actually got the higher rating? Alright, for cover 1, or the first cover on the left hand side, I actually gave it an 8.5 out of 10 because I actually enjoyed it more so than cover 2, even though I did request cover 2 through my LCS. And for cover 2, I actually gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, I'll use the variant here to show the internal art around the beginning, middle, and end. And after that, we'll be able to jump into the story. So, as things begin, we have Batman approaching Ghostmaker's fortress, it looks like. And of course we've got all the members of Batman Incorporated going there. I'll now jump towards the middle. As we jump into the middle, we have part 2, to which Ghostmaker is now moving into a scene in Chechnya and taking on a group of Batman Incorporated members there to sort out a situation. And last but not least, towards the end of the story, to which we meet one of the characters who is actually trying to look after the people who have been harmed by Lex Industries, and of course we've got Ghostmaker there. On not just Ghostmaker, but also Clown Hunter. For the internal art, I gave it a 7.5. Now it's time to move into the story rating and things that make up the story rating. Did we get any references to any of the previous Batman issues in relation to this? No, we didn't. No, it probably wouldn't hurt to just maybe put one in there. Even if it was in reference to maybe the last Batman-related annual in relation to Ghostmaker, I think that could have helped a little bit more. Moving into the next area, and that is time, which in this area of time, the use of time that we had was now and then. So we had things addressing the present as well as the past. Moving into the area of location, we had Bangladesh at a place called Dhaka, and of course we had one of the locations in Chechnya, and I won't worry about saying the other name for it, to where we were, but if anything, somewhere on the outskirts of Chechnya. The cast of characters consisting of Batman, Ghostmaker, Clown Hunter, Batman Incorporated, and last but not least, Grey Wolf. For the overall story rating, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.